Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia, I'm a tarot coach, and in this video I would like to talk about one card. My purpose with this is to introduce a card, to talk about its teachings and about the questions and topics it raises, and at the same time to invite you for a self-reflection process. Accordingly, you can consider this video not as a forecast, but much more as an invitation for a self-coaching sessions when you can reflect on a certain card. You may know that each card in the tarot deck has some very important life lessons to teach, and this is why I have decided to pull one card for each of the coming months and create a small video about them. You are watching the very first in this series. Alright, accordingly, you can consider these videos as timeless. So it means that every time you feel the need for working with a certain topic, you can get back to this video over and over and over again. Well, this was the intro and now we can get started. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the card of the month for February is the Fool. I found it very interesting for several reasons. Reason one is that if you follow the channel, you may know that recently we have been talking a lot about releasing of old shit, letting old stories go, and accordingly closing old cycles and opening up new ones. And it is very much in sync with the Fool. And reason two is that, as I have mentioned, this is the very first video in a new series, and here we go with the Fool, which stands for new beginnings. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you the Fool. And before I start with the introduction, I would like to invite you to a small experiment. So I will show the card into the camera, and at this point I invite you to hit the pause button, gaze at the card and see what comes up. So observe what ideas, associations, emotions or bodily sensations come up for you when you take a look at this card. And once you are done with it, we can start. All right, now let's get started. So again, let me introduce you the Fool, number 0 in the major arcana. The reason why he doesn't have a real number is that he is the beginning and the end. So he is the one with whom every single cycle starts and ends, and the 0, which is a circle in itself, is very much in sync with this. By the way, in some other decks he has number 22, referring to the fact that he is also the ending of the cycle. So here we go. First, let's take a look at the card itself and talk a bit about the symbolic. What we see here is a figure. He doesn't have a gender, so he can be described as he or she. For the sake of simplicity, I will refer to him as him in this video. So, he is the Fool, the soul who sets up on a new journey. As you can see, he is standing on the edge of the cliff, and the next step is leading into the unknown. He is carrying a very small bag. This refers to the fact that actually he doesn't need much on his journey. And in his other hands, he is carrying a white flower, the symbol of purity and innocence. He has here a companion, a small white dog, that is going to bark loudly every time he is about getting off the right track. So he can be considered as the inner voice, as the protector, or the voice of the instinct. We have here in the background some really high mountains, and they refer to the challenges and new heights that are awaiting for the Fool on his journey. He carries a very colorful dress with a lot of fresh colors, orange, yellow, and green, and they also refer to the freshness of the spring. And this is also signified by the sun that is shining like crazy, radiating a lot of white and yellow energy. And again, this is also about, freshness and lightness and the like. So this is the symbolic of the card. And now we can talk about the meaning. Again, the Fool is all about new beginnings and endings, and he is the soul who starts a new journey. He does this for the sake of the journey, for the sake of the adventure, in order to collect new experiences, so that then after that, enriched with new experiences, he can return back. Accordingly, he doesn't have any expectations. He doesn't have any plans in mind or any results or outcome. Again, he is doing it for the sake of the journey itself. And this is why he is actually gazing upwards, not really even minding his step, right? But really being careless, nonchalant, and super lighthearted on this journey. Again, he is the soul who is going for this new journey. He is all about new beginnings, exploring new horizons, enterprise, adventure, spontaneity, innocence, freedom, free spirit, and renewal as well. These are all meanings of this card, and therefore he supports every new journey. So every time when this card pops up, you can experience new beginnings, new opportunities and horizons to open up, and also an invitation to use this fresh energy and to renew somehow in some way. This guy or girl is the Joker. He is the Fool, the Joker, the free spirit, the hippie, the vagabond, the hero. And there is also another important aspect of him. He is, again, the free spirit, so accordingly he's a kind of an outlaw who stays or stands above the law or outside the law. You may know that in the kingdom, in the Middle Age, the court jester was the only one who was allowed to speak up and to speak the truth without being punished. And this refers again to the fact that, again, he is a totally free spirit who is playing according to his own rules. So, this is the Fool. And now let's take a look at the shadow sides of these cards, because there are some as well. In case this card comes up reversed, or in case we have too much of this energy, it means that someone is acting foolishly. For example, someone is making a fool out of himself, or acting careless, irresponsible, reckless, without any regard of the consequences or other people. So make sure that while using this very potential, very fresh, very creative energy, you still you still take care of others, you still think of the consequences, right? So make sure you are not going insane. All right, now this was the symbolism and the meaning of the Fool, and now I would like to give you some questions that I think are well worth of considering, and I would like to invite you to add yours. So feel free to complete this list with your ideas and your questions. So, when it comes to new beginnings or learning or doing something new, the question is how much openness, how much curiosity, how much courage do you have? Are you open? Are you ready to try out something new? When was the last time when you have tried out something new? When was the last time you have learned something new? Are you able to play like a fool, totally freely, just for fun, just for the sake of the game, without wanting to win, for example, or without having any outcome or expectation in mind? If you take a look around in your life, what wants to end? So what kind of cycle is coming to an end, and what wants to begin? So in what areas of your life could you use some new and fresh energy, some refreshment? In what areas could you use some shake up, right? Yeah, where could you use some more spontaneity and trust and courage and braveness? What would you do if you weren't afraid? So if you would be totally free and you shouldn't be afraid of mistakes or or failure, then what would you do? Where would it take you? Where would you go? This is also an interesting question. What new beginnings are opening up, or what new opportunities are opening up for you if you take a look around in your life? And what would you need? What would it take to grab them, and where would it take you? And another interesting question, which takes us back to the topic of the whole year, which is the Lover, is also about being authentic and true to yourself. So, are you free? To what extent are you true to yourself? Are you living your own life? Are you on your very own way, on your own journey, or you are trying to build up an image, or you are living someone else's life? So again, are you listening to your inner voice, and do you follow it, or you follow some old path that you're supposed to follow for some reason? So these are the very first question that I think this card raises, and again, you are very welcome to complete this list with your own questions. And here, last but not least, I would like to invite you to do something foolish. So to start to work with the energy of this card, you can do it in several ways. For example, you could start learning something new. You could start learning a new language, for example. You could go to a dance class, or you could start learning anything you wanted to learn already, but for some reason you didn't do that because you have lacked the courage and you thought that you would suck in this area, right? So how about trying out something new? How about learning something new and observe what kind of fresh energy does it influx into your life? You can also consider maybe even changing gears and go for something new. I mean, change professional and changing careers. But of course, if you don't have the opportunity for doing so, you can start in small. So how about going to the hairdresser and getting a new haircut? It could also shake up your energy. Or how about putting on your widest suit tomorrow, just like I did for the sake of this video? How about the next time when you go to the supermarket, taking a different route and not always the usual one? And see what do you explore when you take a look around in the block and take another route this time. And also you can just, when you go to the supermarket for doing the shopping anyway, how about buying a new spice and the next time you cook using it? Again, as you may guess, it is about leaving the old one, leaving the old ways, and take some refreshment to try to shake the energy up in small. But you can also just rearrange the furniture in your room or dance around in your room. The idea, as you may get, is about doing something new, doing something out of character that you may never do, and observe what does it do to you and how does this shake the energy up. By the way, the energy of the Fool is very helpful also when you want to solve a problem. Einstein said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Indeed, in case you want to solve something, in case you want to, you want to support your own renewal, it is a good idea to find totally and try out totally new ways. So I think this is also a very useful idea. And last but not least, you can also work here with affirmations. I have talked about them in my other video, the lovers, and they are a very great way of rewriting your program. So you can formulate some encouragement affirmations for yourself. For example, I am courageous. I am open to the new. I try out new things and the like. Again, formulate this with your own words, formulate it in a positive way, and make sure you repeat them enough, because this is how they become your new reality, and again they can support your in your renewal. So these were my first initial thoughts about the Fool. I am super happy to read yours in the comment section. And last but not least, I would like to leave you with one thought. I think that the world is very much in need of the energy of the Fool. We have pushed many things to the limits, and we need a very, very big reboot. And I think that's why it is great that we call up on the energy of the Fool. And you can support this renewal in the world in case you first do the work on yourself. So in case you are able for renewal, in case you are able to shake yourself up, you are also supporting the change outside. So again, these were my last thoughts, and with this I would like to encourage you to try out new things and to make sure that you shake yourself up. Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks for showing up. I wish you a great new journey. I wish you a lot of trust and courage when trying out new things. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, take care of yourselves. Ciao.